Good morning, everyone. It's Elliot McMonagle, aka Mr. McMagic Man, and I am coming on this morning because I am about to be moving this month of April 2023. This is about 6 months since my last move, and I just noticed that, with transitions and moving, there's always a heightened emotional state that happens, um, for me at least, and I know that that's true for others. I'm experiencing that in my community as well. And that can be a time where, our stress levels are higher, um, our thoughts may be going a million times a minute or over and over and over again. Um, and so I wanted to create this video not only for myself, but for anyone else who is moving through a transition or moving to a new location, like me, at this time or sometime in the future that you're watching this. So I thought we could ask the oracle cards that I have here today. Wisdom of the Oracle. Lots of people are familiar with this deck. So hopefully that'll help us to tap into our own personal messages even more, because if we're familiar with them, I think that practice of knowing the cards, deepening our understanding, will help us bring more truths and more messages to us. So I thought this would be kind of a way to bring more fun and enjoyment, creating space for the divine to come through with maybe something that will bring some magic into this experience, some divine synchronicities, whatever the case might be. I want to have fun. I want to feel good, because this is a really, really good move for me. It's moving me out of a situation that's been kind of low grade stressful. And so I'm just really looking forward to this next stage and what to expect in this next transition. So if this sounds interesting for you too, you're going through a similar thing, this is probably going to be a great reading for you to get some clarity. And I'm just going to begin by asking this to be a very general collective message for everyone going through their movement. And so what will happen is you are going to then look within and hear from your higher self, your beings of light that are supporting you on your divine path, and start to really feel into, does this feel like it's for me? Is it for Elliot, the guy who's also going through this? Or is it for some other stranger who is going through something completely different? So I'm just going to speak from my heart. I'm going to tap in right now. I've lit my candles. I have some ambiance. I've already been kind of in this space of cleansing and clearing my space. So I'm just really tapping into the highest light, for the highest good of all of us, because that is what is happening on earth right now, is our collective ripple effects of how we are all supporting each other in getting better, becoming more efficient in our lives so that we can experience more joy and pleasure in our lives. So let's continue to tap in, let's continue to connect to ourselves and really ask ourselves whatever it is that we want to know. If you have some time, just take a minute right now, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths with me. Grounding into this moment. Allowing for any outside noises to bring more peace and joy into this space. Allowing you to focus on yourself for the next few moments. swing your neck around a little bit, loosening things up. Maybe you're sitting as still as can be, just being present with yourself. Anything that you need to do in this moment is completely and totally fine. You're doing so good. Feeling so good and so relaxed. Now, without opening your eyes quite yet, while I'm shuffling the cards, think of things that you want to know in this move. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, what is it that you want to know about this shift that's taking place right now? My biggest top one is how I can bring more joy and pleasure and ease into every single transition and shift that I make in my life. That's going to be this first card. The second question is, what can I expect in this new space that I am moving into? What can I expect in the new space that I'm moving into? It's going to be this second card. We're just going to pull one more card. Third card is a surprise. Yeah. What is one thing that is totally going to surprise us about this move that we would have had no idea otherwise? Begin to open up your eyes. If you feel called, you can also keep your eyes closed as I read the messages out loud. So the first card says time to go. And it was in reverse. And I think that this is all about when we feel sometimes deep down a place is no longer for us, and we start to create scenarios or stories or things within us of why we need to stay a little longer. Why it makes more sense to stay than that bigger feeling of it's time to go. And starting to create the new stories that amplify, that encourage, that tell you it's safe to move on. That actually, by choosing a path that has just as many unknowns as where you are in the current moment, knowing that by you choosing your own self, your own well-being, knowing that this situation that you're currently in is not bringing you peace, joy, abundance, all the things that you are constantly creating in your life. If that's not happening where you currently are at, and you are on a pursuit of continuously moving forward in your life, not looking back at the past, healing the past and allowing yourself to continue to move forward, then it really is important to remind yourself at this time, possibly writing down all the things that you do want to happen in this next, through this next portal as you open the gate to the next place. Allow that space, because you've given so much space to why you need to stay. And what are the possibilities essentially of you going when you feel called to go? that's personally the dance that I've been in, is learning the discernment within my body of going when I don't feel safe anymore, knowing that like I'm always being guided and protected, and nothing that I've done is wrong in this, but by allowing myself to look at my patterns and my cycles is allowing me to move on at a quicker pace, and each and every time I find myself learning so much more about who I am and what it is I truly desire in my life. And sure, it hasn't been perfect in any standards. It's not like there haven't been challenges, but just 6 months ago, I moved here, and a year before that, I had moved into a space that I never thought was possible. I moved here in 6 months. I thought none of this was going to be possible. So whatever is going to come in the next 3 months is probably going to blow my mind like the last year and a half has. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the next card is Truth Be Told. So this was about, okay, and then this last card was about the pleasure, like just experiencing more joy and fun and pleasure. And so I think that when we resist that feeling of time to go is when the fun and the joy and the pleasure of the transition kind of fades. So possibly getting back to that inner knowing within yourself. It's time to go. I'm focused on me and my pleasure, and I'm going to create those movements and allow for the fun to take place because you're just flowing with it versus resisting it. So the truth be told was, what question was that? I'll have to maybe go back and look. Truth be told is what to expect in the next space that we move into. So, I believe that in our next space, there's gonna be a wealth of wisdom and love that we will be seeing through like a new window of our lives. Like, we're gonna start seeing things the way our heart has always felt inside. Like when I think about this, I think about my cat, because every time he wakes up in the morning, he is looking outside the window going, you know, what kinds of creatures am I going to chase today? Or, you know, I don't know what he thinks, but he just pops up and he's ready to get outside and go explore, even though every single day he goes out there the same places. And like children too, like my nephew, he wakes up and he's excited to go to his window and look outside and watch the neighbors walk around or look at the cars. And I feel like in those moments when you're like a kid or an animal and your home base is this, you know, and when you're an adult, it kind of starts to expand where it's like, oh, I can move other places, or I can expand my wings, and or you can see the world through your phone and you can see all the places. But I think that there's such a beauty in being able to look outside your window and go, this is like the best movie I could ever watch. I'm so excited to go explore my home or just watch what's happening in my backyard. So I think that that's what we're coming home to, is that we are going to be able to experience that bliss, that joy, the simplicity of the place that we are currently in, and just being that excited to be able to enjoy the little space that we technically all have in our own lives at any given moment. So just coming back to that joy and that pleasure of those simple things. And then there's a mask, a golden mask. And I don't know about you all, but I feel that there's also this feeling of creating the glitz and the glam of our lives. Like, yes, it's a mask, but it's something that makes us feel so divine and so rich and royal, and we get to experience what that feels like, to put on different faces and different outfits or different like crowns or things of that nature, and start to see things through how we are experiencing the world with those things on, by how other people are maybe reacting to us, and getting a deeper sense of like who we are. And I believe that's where part of the wisdom is going to be coming from. So if this feels like totally, what is Elliot even talking about? If you have been feeling like you would like a change, like if this is really like your time to go into a new change and you've been feeling this, when was the last time you changed your outfits? When was the last time you changed your haircut? When was the last time you put on a costume, like just for fun, not for Halloween or anything? This is the transformation that gets to happen, is that there really are no rules. People will see different things, but you're the one being the seer. You're the one that gets to experience all of this within yourself. So this is your invitation to essentially explore what it would feel like to be in a space or be in a character or be in a version of yourself that maybe you've seen somebody else experience, but now you want to experience that. So how can you put on the outfit? How can you start the journey of like becoming or being this idea essentially, and now you getting to experience it for yourself? Because that's where the wisdom comes in, is when we get to experience things. And there's so much still that we get to experience. So that's that. And then the third one is their surprise. So we have go the distance. And that is kind of a surprise to me, because I think that we have to continue to remind ourselves, remember that we need to just keep going, because there is some, like I just said in this previous card, like there's so much for us to experience. And so if you want to experience as much as you possibly can in this lifetime, and you want to keep transitioning and keep changing and keep growing and keep moving so that you get to experience more, no matter how many times you do that, no matter how quickly you do that, no matter what your pace is, like keep going. And you can do that quickly if that feels good and nourishing to you. But I think the main message of the surprise is to just keep moving forward and pursuing what it is that you want to experience in this life. So let me know in the comments. This was the reading for today for our movement going forward. What you are taking out from this experience, and kind of what are you reflecting on since listening to these things that I've shared with you today. And yeah, I'll be in the comments too. I'll go and share, because I've got a lot of reflection now to do after this. And I just want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. Elliot, you look so handsome today. Even though you just woke up and your hair is like a little bit wild. You're like, a little lion. Yes, yes, you're so cute. And I love you so very much for being you, for doing all the things that you love to do, no matter what. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, bye for now.